Hello and welcome to episode 468 of the DCP plus SideQuest podcast. You like that, Fran?
Somebody peeked at the notes.
Huh? Yeah, I peeked like right
I'm so happy.
How's everybody doing? We had the week off last week. Hope everybody got a little rest, relaxation in.
I played Elliot, The Adventures of Elliot. That's what I was doing.
Oh, yeah? What's that? I don't think I've heard of that one.
It is the latest game by the Octopath Traveler guys who normally do like turn-based RPGs, but this is their first time delving into action-based. So it plays kind of similar to like an old school Zelda.
Yeah, like a top-down, the old
I like
ones.
it.
Yeah, I think
it was good.
I like it a lot.
Okay,
yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Is it out?
It is indeed.
Okay, great. Next on my list. I remember seeing that.
And it's on everything. You can get it on Switch.
Great.
The cheapest gaming console available now, you know?
It actually is. I can't believe it. I was looking at the prices. I was like, how much is a Switch 2? I'm like, oh, it's like $500.
Yeah.
That's pennies compared to everything else. My God.
I
can't believe it.
Did they release the prices for the Steam Deck, or was that like some weird
the Steam
thing?
Machine.
Okay, for the
Steam Machine,
yeah. And it was like 1,300 or 1,400 depending on the spec you get.
It starts at like 1,050, and then like 1,300 for more space.
Okay. Is it upgradable? Can you add storage to it?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
They have a micro SD where you can add storage. You can also open it and customize some parts of it.
Interesting. Well, that's good. It's expensive, but it kind of like, how are you not going to sell that thing for a ton of money at this point with the way that computer parts have gone in pricing?
Yeah, it's just wild.
Anyway, you could catch up. What happy things have you been doing? Because today's going to be a very sad episode about the state of the
Can we just front load it with like all the fun stuff then? And then just talk about depressing stuff right before we go to bed.
Everybody listening probably wants the opposite, but
okay.
No, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. You know, we do. You know how we do it.
The big news that people.
Yeah, we got pushed back on the last episode because we ended with Destiny. That was like the big thing people wanted us to talk about.
I tried at the beginning.
He does.
Y'all thwarted me. Nah, it doesn't matter.
I think it was my fault because I was like mid-tornado and you were like, Ryan, talk about Fable real quick before you die.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you guys were disappointed that I didn't die.
So it was the tornado's fault.
I mean, it would have made for an epic show, honestly.
It really would have. Yeah, I left the camera on.
That's fucking content.
Jesus.
So what's the big news?
It's a lot of different big news.
Yeah.
Well,
where are we starting?
Well, this was a Destiny show.
Yeah, I said we get it out of the way.
We want to start with that.
Okay.
Yeah. The Bungie.
The Bungie news. Yeah. So there was rumors last week and some reporting that there were going to be some major layoffs coming, and today we saw the extent of those layoffs. So it looks like Herman Hulst, the CEO of Sony, put out a statement, and he said that basically the entire Destiny team is gone. Some of the Marathon team is gone. And some of the people within SIE who were assisting Bungie are also gone. So if you guys remember when there were previous layoffs, there were a few people at Bungie who were like, I've been hired by Sony to like help a bunch of studios, including Bungie, with like cinematics and all that kind of stuff. Those people are also gone. I did see that one of those people said that he was on a contract. So he was hired by Sony on a contract for that. And now he's been let go and he doesn't have severance because it was a contract. So that really sucks. But it looks like we're looking at a little over 400 people being laid off, which is over half the studio. And also Truman, who was the studio head of Bungie, has stepped down.
Yeah, that I didn't think about that one coming, but yeah, I guess it's was it Poria Torkin? I think yes, it was VP of Operations. Is now stepping up. That was one of the interesting parts. I thought. I mean, this has been a saga, right? We've gone probably from upwards of multi-studio help, 1,400, 1,500
Yeah.
employees cranking on multiple things in the Destiny 2 world, right? Now we went through multiple layoffs, the Sony acquisition, et cetera, Destiny getting sunset, Destiny 2, and then, yeah, maybe we're down to 400, 450. We don't know the
400-ish,
facts,
yeah.
but it's the estimates. But yeah, the fact that you went from Pete and some other folks in there, that they got their golden parachutes, they took off, and Justin Truman stepped up. He's been there a while. But then I mean, I guess it's part of like what happens is when you're the leader, they also expect, you take a major pay cut there, but you also fall on the knife and you have to
Yep.
usually exit along with these situations. But yeah,
Yep,
the
kinda
VP of
comes with the
operations
territory.
stepping up. Like I didn't even hear this person's name, but they've actually been there since Destiny 1 pretty much.
They've
So
been there for a
they
long time. I
and they
think
were at
we've
Guerrilla Games
been
as a
to
producer before, which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Coincidental, I bet, but
If you've been to any events, you might have met them. If you've been to any events. If you
Yeah,
see a picture
maybe.
of them. Yeah.
yeah.
You've probably met them at some point.
But that's the new name if you want to talk to somebody. Poria Torkin, I think, who's supposed to be a stand-up individual, but who's to say what this means for the company? But
Yeah.
Anyway, in terms of the big knife, yeah, it for me, it just sucks because it's like this is another one. I think I saw a lot of talk today about like, oh, I knew it was coming and it still hurts, and I absolutely agree. I like feel so
That's
bad
fair.
and thoughts with all those affected, and it's crazy. But this is like a continuation of many years of this problem, and also we're seeing more of that across the industry with Xbox and other stuff. So it's just it's awful time.
Yeah, I think that's a fair sentiment. Is like you could see this coming clearly when they announced they're going to shut down Destiny 2, and there was no plan. There was no immediate plan to make another Destiny project. Well, they had this
Yeah.
whole studio working on Destiny. Like, what are you going to do with these people? You can't just
Yeah.
like float them forever.
Mm.
So what do you do?
Paris,
Yeah.
Paris brought something up on Twitter today that I thought was a good point. And he's kind of thinking forward about the fallout for the industry as a whole with all these layoffs. It's not like all these people are just going to bounce back and jump right into another studio, because this is kind of industry wide right now.
For
And
years now.
yeah, and he's like, well, what's going to end up happening is you have a lot of experienced game developers that are going to be exiting the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And so that leadership, that mentorship, that level of experience that they have is also going to be kind of phasing out, and we're going to be losing that influence of some of the kind of like dinosaur devs have just been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah, and some of them these are people who have been at Bungie since Halo days that have been let go. Because it basically comes down to I can only assume, but they're looking at, okay, we make X amount of money. This is how much money we spend. If we want to try and keep Bungie alive doing something, then we need to cut this amount of people to try and make that happen. Is ultimately, I think, what it probably boils down to. They're obviously going to be putting a lot into Marathon, but they are also starting incubation on stuff. But that's just going to be small, like really small teams doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like so much that it's like flying through my mind over this situation. But yeah, the thing that stands out is that I just still can't believe that Bungie, right, from its rise to Halo and Xbox and those days to Destiny and Destiny 2, massive industry-changing accomplishments. And, you can look at Sony and say, like, okay, there's some of the cause to where we're at, but also not. Like, somehow in their quest for acquisition and all this, my end point being, how are they're bailing water over, the edge of the ship right now, and finding a company like that. I mean, it's happening across the industry in different ways. Like sometimes just, it's a downturn. Like we have an economic downturn. We have rising prices. EA, right, with their Saudi Arabia deals is laying off people. You got Ubisoft laying off people. You got, this is common. But on the Bungie side, you look at like Destiny and you're like, yeah, it was kind of like on a downward trend. But how did you didn't have like more of an off-ramp or plan is wild to see. I think people will be quick to say that it was Marathon, but that was one piece of it, and they already knew probably before last year even that was not like, that's not going to suddenly make for all the revenue. It's Destiny, right? Destiny revenue, if you look at after the final shape and stuff, like the bottom just has fallen
Yeah,
out. So
a lot of people want to they want a scapegoat, and Marathon kind of fits the bill there. But
yeah,
I mean, from its inception, Marathon was never planned as something that was going to um like combat or try to rival the Destiny income flow. Like, it was made as a passion project. It was never expected to be the thing that was going to take over Destiny and be the next big thing for Bungie. Um, and that's the way that folks that I've talked to who've worked on it have said, like, yeah, it was never meant to be the thing that was going to replace Destiny. And I think a lot of people have this misconception that they think that it was. It was like, oh, they chose to move on from it. Was like, well, it was kind of meant to run alongside it and be another revenue flow and another
yeah,
passion project for them.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It strikes me as like, I know why people would say that, right? Because if you say, the rumors are like, wait, it's $250, $300 million. It's 7, 8 years of development. Who knows? It's easy to say like, oh, you should have just put that all in Destiny. But you have to look at the other side as they had put tons into Destiny. And if you go way back,
much
they
money.
already,
Yeah,
they
a lot of money.
already found themselves in a situation where you had Luke Smith, Mark Noseworthy, a bunch of other folks having to leave the company due to sales. And that was back in the Final Shape days.
Yeah.
And then we went on for years, them, trying to solve the problem. So it's like, I mean, I agree. It's like, if you love Destiny, it's like, I don't care what the problem was. I wish you put all that money to Destiny too. And I understand that, but I agree with you. It's like, you shouldn't be blaming. Well, I mean, everybody's doing it. It is the narrative. It's like, stop blaming Marathon for being the sole issue. It was really the acquisition and them taking the risk.
Dumping all that
to
money
develop more.
that you dumped into Marathon into Destiny does not help the problem that Destiny was being poorly run for a decade. Like,
Yeah.
they just couldn't get their shit together over there and make it like a sustainable product long term. I feel like after they left Activision, they never had a plan that they executed long term.
I just remember, how many times have we heard from people who left Bungie? Oh, well, we wanted to do that, but leadership said no. We actually had that in the pipeline. Leadership canceled it. We actually talked to the community and we knew that you guys wanted that, but leadership said no. I feel like I've been hearing that since Destiny 1.
Yeah.
So this has not been like a new problem that has arisen. And we've even seen it with like Halo. We know that the development during Halo has been awful, like crazy, horrific crunches that people talk about. And it kind of feels like Bungie, for a lot of their projects, has kind of just been like, okay, we're making a thing. Oh, the thing sucks. We got to change it and start from the beginning. We're shipping in 6 months. And then they're just like crunching to make it happen. And you're just relying on kind of getting lucky, but with a lot of talented people. So it kind of, limits your risk on that luck. But I feel like eventually your luck is going to run out. Just like, they were talking about the Naughty Dog magic and all that stuff. And it's like, no, you have to have like good management and good production. And especially now with how expensive things are and how long they take, you can't just rely on like,
Can't rely on
don't worry,
voodoo.
we'll pull it out. That's fine. But that's what Bungie has always had to do. You look at the Taken King, Forsaken, Halo, Destiny 1, like all of these things were not going well, and then they had to scrounge to make it happen, and then they pulled through. It's not
Based
gonna
on the
work forever.
talent of the people working there,
Exactly.
which are now gone.
So
Like,
imagine if
they've
they
lost
were
all that
managed
talent.
well.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm
Imagine.
telling you, those,
hard.
especially
It's hard to
the
imagine
like RAD team folks, if somebody picks them up, that's some top shelf development talent right there, just
Oh yeah.
in the wind right now.
Yeah, I saw
Somebody better
some.
snatch them up.
Yeah, I saw some posts on that today, and I was like, well, that's a small silver lining here, but hopefully those people go on to work on some really great things and bring this expertise elsewhere. And that's, it's Bungie and Sony's loss, and they know it. But it could really improve some other franchises or games out there in the in the long run. So I hope that's a silver lining.
Can't wait to read Jason Schreier's book. It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, if he
It's
does
gonna be
a book just on
fascinating.
Wait, is he doing one on Bungie solo?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, because of the Blizzard
He
one.
may as
It
well.
would make sense. At this point, he may as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's a sad day, and it remains to be seen. We'll be seeing more over the coming days and weeks. Really, like what the fallout is like. Right, I think there's probably names and things that probably haven't come to fruition yet that we don't know of. People are like, wait, that person's also gone. You know, they were there forever, and where are they gonna go? And um, but yeah, look, if you're a Bungie fan, regardless, or a Destiny 2 fan, it's just sad news because of so much talent, and it was a huge engine. No matter what the cost was, and it sucks that the off ramp was like this sudden, bailing water over the ship and dire times. But can only hope that whatever magic remains, right? It'll be years, but it's like this is what is next, and that I hope there's some really great stuff out there in incubation, I guess.
What a fucking crazy story it's been too. It's like starting off with Activision, $500 million, spent on Destiny 1. They somehow weasel their way out of Activision, only to be picked up by Microsoft. Then they weasel their way out of Microsoft, only to get picked up by Sony. And now looking back, it's like you got to think, how did they get out of those situations? It must have been you got to think Microsoft must have known something was up, right? Oh, this is not a sustainable business plan. It's like a deck of cards they're building over here, or like a Ponzi scheme. It's like building and building and building, but I don't know. Maybe that's how they kept getting out. I have no idea. I can't wait to know more about this in the future as people, start telling these stories in the public. I'm sure it'll take years, but on the outside, it always seemed like Destiny could be sustainable for a long time, especially if they just kept making new content. But at the same time, as it stayed stagnant for so long, and it changed in ways that aggravated its player base so many times. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough one,
It
I'll
makes me
always
really sad.
game.
Yeah, I'll always point to the moment they stopped shipping PvP content with their expansions as one of the most pivotal off ramps for a lot of the community.
Huge one.
Because up until a point, up into through Forsaken, the entire history of Destiny was every single expansion. There was a suite of new maps. Forsaken had, I think it was 7 new
Yeah.
maps, new PvP modes, and loot that was unique to PvP. The whole thing felt like it had a whole team firing on all cylinders to make that experience top notch. Because at the time, there was a 50-50, almost. It was a 40-60 split. I know a lot of people were like, Destiny's a PvE game. It's like, well, yeah, but 40% of the community, and at that time the community was huge, 40% of us are logging into PvP every single day. That's a really big number. If somebody told me, hey, your revenue is going to get cut by 40%, I would cry. That's a huge loss. So you can't just write off that part of the community and say, well, they're not really a big part of it.
And how many people were doing it in PvE just so they could get weapons and armor to go?
We were all doing
PvP.
that.
That's where
we were all
was
doing
at.
that.
Yeah.
That's
And
exactly
then
right.
Once PvP was not an enticing offering, then it made me not want to grind the raid and grind the dungeon and grind whatever.
And that was so weird because there was no precedent. For all of the precedent up until that point was every expansion there's PvP content. And then suddenly they shipped an expansion and there was zero, no PvP content. And we're like, oh, hey, did you forget the PvP stuff? And they're like, no, it's coming. Don't worry about it. But then that was the new trend. Was the price tag for the expansions didn't change. The price tag stayed the same for your expansions, and in some cases got bigger. But we dropped a whole part of what is expected to come with those expansions. And a lot of us felt the impact of that in a really big way and decided to fill the PvP void elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think at a pivotal time when there was other new PvP options coming to the table, right? It's like Player Unknowns and Fortnite and these things,
Apex Legends,
hot.
and
And it's like it was just
There's
so easy
many.
to well, this new hotness is over here. I guess Destiny's not going to serve my needs anymore.
Yeah.
It also really saddens me to see the update that was given. And I understand that this update that we have now was many things being pulled together. This isn't just one expansion's worth of content, for example. But for so long, we said, we think we just need an update that is just like getting the core game back together and feeling good, and the rewards are right and the activities are good. Like, I know that, having the big new shiny expansion with the campaign sells. I know that that sells. But for the longevity and the health of this game, we need to get like the people who love Destiny already back to loving Destiny. And it's kind of what we've seen with this update is that you're hitting 100K plus, concurrent players on Steam for consistently since this update happened. And it's just focused on making the game feel good. There's more avenues to do stuff. There's more ways to get things. And I would have loved to have seen what could have happened if they just said, look, guys, things are getting crazy out here. Like, we need to really figure out what we're doing. We need to get the base game feeling good and our base activities rewarding, etc. And then we'll go back to making the expansions. But we got to fix this foundation. But we never got that. And it's really hard to do that when you're on this treadmill of I have to constantly make a new campaign and new cutscenes and new subclass, and we need this and we need that. It's kind of just impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think you pretty much touched on it, but it's easy to forget that we went through years of like this feeling that, it was so hard to get the good expansion, or, we almost hopscotch between a good update. But then people also got tired out and they tried new games and stuff. And like me, it's easy to forget that the trend line was the player base has been declining steadily since 2021, 2022, probably, right? A lot. And then we saw after the final shape, I mean, people had already dropped out before, and then certainly after. Like, it basically was already over then. And so, kind of in those words you put it, the treadmill, like they tried to keep going, but it was already like well past due to like slow down. And yeah, like I think it's easy to speculate on, but I don't know what the solution was.
I
The
kind
other
of like,
side is like, how much did it cost? If it was at one point, say, making $100 million a year, I'm just in profit, let's say, enough to fund like new expansions and stuff. There's some
yeah.
reporting on that. Eventually, though, all that started to go underwater. So at one point, you start to be like, well, now we're spending $100 million a year, and that's the problem.
Yeah. I kind of liken it to being in a runaway car that's headed down a hill. It's like you should have cut and bailed at 30 mile an hour when you realized what was happening. But you were too scared to jump out. Suddenly you're going 70 miles an hour and you're picking up speed, and now is the moment where we just had to it's more painful now because you should have bailed out at the final shape and said, this is a great exit point. This is also not sustainable. We're very proud of the work that we just shipped, but we need to pivot. And Destiny really is so, and I say this word, and I don't mean it necessarily as a criticism, but it's really bloated at this point because it's a 2017 game.
It's just adding.
It's just, and you have to constantly escalate in order to make it feel new, make it feel fresh, and that's a huge challenge for developers. You've been trying to like, hey, how do we make it cooler? How do we take it further? How do we make, you know what I mean? And every expansion, it's like things just got so crazy. We're doing prismatic now. Everybody gets every ability. You know what I mean? Not that prismatic was bad; it was interesting, but that sort of illustrates the point. It just things you have to get more chaotic.
Yeah.
And I feel like you just had to rip the cord and say, okay, final shape's a perfect off ramp, but this isn't sustainable. I think that would have been the best time to just go into your cave and say, we're gonna go away for a while. We're gonna work on some great stuff. But they kept trying to make it happen for a couple years after.
Yeah, that's why we always talk about management and production and why it's so important is because you would need someone to look ahead to, okay, we're making this final end of this chapter in 5 years. It's going to be out. We need to have something at the end of that, whatever it may be. Even if it's just, we're not ready to have the full follow-up to it, we need to have something to tell the players like, okay, that chapter is over. We're going into the shadows for a little bit. You have all this content to play, but a new thing is coming, whatever that may be, whether that's a D3, whether it's they start a completely different, formula to making Destiny, whatever it is. I think having the foresight for that. But from what it seemed like they were kind of having this thing as the final shape as the final thing. And then there was kind of a pivot in marketing almost where it was like, well, it's like the final shape, but like it's not over. There's like more. And then they started like saying, no, there's more, there's more. It's not actually over. So it kind of to me has just always looked like they didn't have a fully fleshed out plan for the final shape and what that is and what are we doing after.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's always possible that because if you look at the development cycle, right, like Sony's finalization, I think, of their purchase was like 2022, and then final shape was 2024. So that was like part of the like finishing it up at that time, so to speak. Like they were already deep in development to finish up something like final shape. And so it's just interesting to think about the timeline of like Sony bought it, but Bungie was still an independent thinking entity. And I think that's another part of this like weird problem
Yeah.
that
Mm.
it's like, okay, Pete and the team is still making decisions. And like, but yeah, I was just thinking about that timeline. I'm like, yeah, what was going on that you still were like, let's do this expansion split, Edge of Fate, Star Wars Renegades. Maybe that deal was in the pipeline for a while too. But like, yeah, like TV, that's a great analogy. It's like
It
you
is,
guys
yeah.
just gotta jump out of this car right now. And like it's painful. Yeah, but like,
It's
yeah,
gonna
it's
hurt more if
hard.
you do it later, though.
Yeah. And I think,
400 employees, it's gonna hurt.
yeah, the thing I've always been the first to say, I'm like, I know the community doesn't want this, but I've always wanted Destiny to do that, like kind of jump out at an uncomfortable time, but then say, and this is the difference, but then say, oh, we're going to do something 3 years from now, another big update. We'll be back with a raid, but we need to just take a little time and sort of don't expect the treadmill to run every week and every month. But that is what Destiny is. I think that's the problem. And like, I couldn't tell you in revenue, like if that would work. But I think that would be at least an acceptable outcome today for the community, right? That if they said, we're stopping Destiny 2 updates, we'll do some minor patches, and they even would have to do some layoffs, but then to say we're going to deliver a solid expansion in the future, date to be announced, but we're not going to have as much content in terms of seasonal stuff, but we do still want to deliver expansion moments or something, right?
Mhm.
But like we don't even get that. We just get the ship, is all going down and like everybody jump and like it's chaos. And I think it's so hard
It
for the
is
community
chaos.
to understand that. Like they don't even understand how and now you see the emergency. DMG was communicating like patches, like this is probably the final one. Now you see it's like, dude, they were in such a hurry to stop the bloodletting. That's how bad it is right now in terms of the revenue and everything else, seemingly, right? So it sucks.
Yeah, but I think a lot of us who stepped away can, kind of pinpoint a time where we stopped being as interested. And this was not when Sony acquired, this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And there's been, and that's why I can't just look at one thing that was the downfall of Destiny. It's so many small things that then got bigger, and then there were pivots that didn't make sense. And I think ultimately when I look at it, it really does look like there was a lot of short-term decisions that were made to just try and keep things going over how do we actually correct this and keep it going? What are we going to do that? And maybe because it wasn't possible to say, we're going to take a year off of making a big expansion and focus on the health of the game because expansions are what made money. So it's very possible that it got to a point that it wasn't even an option for them to do something like that.
Yeah.
That may be. They grew too much and they had the cycle of just creating like expansions and updates so often, but they didn't have enough time in between. Yeah, I don't know.
It's very strange. Yeah, it's very strange.
There were some
I
truly
don't know.
great moments in Destiny, though, like truly
no
Oh my
doubt.
god,
amazing moments.
incredible.
And it's like I'm always gonna miss that, even though I haven't played the game in years. I'm always gonna miss that. I'm always gonna remember, some of the true highlights of that game and the people I shared it with, because frankly, there's never been anything like it, and who knows if there ever will be again. I mean, just the cost to
Yeah.
create something like that is
Yeah.
astounding.
I mean, even with me being like, PvP guy, I still feel like I went out on a really high note because I was doing Final Shape, Killing the Witness raids. And that was
Yeah.
the first time in a while that I actually had a raid team. Like, this is our
Mm.
6. These are the nights that we raid. and we're getting all of our clears in every week. And it was just so fun. It was the first time in a long time I was doing something other than just playing by myself in PvP and really felt connected. And that was a really strong note for me to go out on. So I have the luxury of at least, I don't know if everybody today has this. Well, given what people are saying about the most recent update, I would assume that a lot of people have a similar experience. But for me, I felt lucky to have my final impression of Destiny to be a really positive one. And I
Yeah.
didn't stick around for the sort of pseudo expansions afterwards, though.
Yeah. No, there's nothing that's maybe, yeah, ever going to feel like Destiny. It's getting up for day one raid day and getting all your friends together, seeing a new raid for the first time is just something really special.
It was
Really,
special.
really special.
Grinding for a week, like 40-hour, putting in like 60-hour weeks, like getting ready for a
Jeez.
raid.
That part I
60
never
hours.
liked, but
What's that?
it was memorable.
It was memorable. I mean, I liked it the first time, maybe even the
Yeah.
first.
You didn't
like,
want to
few
be the one
times.
guy on your team that was
No, but I
15
always
under
was.
light.
TV.
Yeah.
I always was.
Yeah. No, I mean, what you had to be heroic for these moments. And I think there was something to that as you sacrificed like real life, sleep and friendships in these moments because you're like, no, I have to be ready. And man, there are very few games that can demand that kind of attention. So yeah, I mean, that's a good point to land on maybe is like there's so much to celebrate as much as it sucks. It's like incredible. And like, you can only hope that the remaining talent, and the ideas they have are able to still, like, cause I don't remember, what was the team like in size that they even got to like Destiny, right? And this is way back and development cost different, but they were not as big is my point. They were certainly a similar size,
Oh, yeah.
probably, right?
Yeah, they were like, I remember going to like launch parties and,
Yeah.
like Christmas parties, and you knew everyone there.
Yeah.
You
I
knew
was like,
everyone. Like everyone knows everyone. This guy's been here for freaking 40 years, And then it got to a point that you go to these parties and you're like, I don't know anyone here. Everyone
Yeah.
here is
and that
brand
was
new.
Destiny and Destiny 2, probably. Yeah. It blew up from I
It blew up
forget if
like
it was like a
crazy.
300 person studio or 250, but my main point there is like, look, yes, it's not totally equivalent, but in concept, like they were 200 or 300 people at some point and they got to Destiny. They were
Yeah,
ambitious, right? Jason Jones presumably is still there, and he was, one of the people pushing for these types of ideas. And I can only assume there's a lot of people there still, hopefully, that have ambitions. And yeah, like what happens when you take the shackles off? Is it more Destiny? Is it stuff like we've speculated on previous shows, or is it just something brand new and ambitious, and maybe there is that twinkle in there, right?
Yeah.
We'll be years away from finding out. But I can only
It'll be a
hope.
while.
It'll be a while.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just, I'm just really sad to hear about that many people losing their jobs. So
Yeah.
many of them are going to not even bother getting back into the gaming industry because it's so volatile right now.
Volatile,
So
yeah. Not a
the
safe bet.
talent is just gone. But I hope that if any Bungie devs do listen to the podcast at any point, I just want them to know that I love what they've created throughout the years. They've made phenomenal things. The skybox is always some of the best skybox you'll ever see. The raids in the dungeons are some of the best experiences in gaming. The enemy design is incredible. The music is incredible. Like this top tier talented people.
Yeah.
And I hope that if they want to get into a new thing, I hope that they find something they're really passionate about, or if they're able to take maybe an extended break and kind of find what they're going to be passionate about. I hope they can do that.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I just wanted to note within there, and we don't have to talk about Marathon right now, but it was interesting that Herman Hulst, right, co-head, I guess, or head of, I keep forgetting if it's co-head or head, PlayStation, but Herman Hulst put out the note to the company just talking about how, Marathon will continue to get support, and, that it is important to the company, and kind of backing it in words. So I think that's interesting. But we do know that, as I forget if Watts pointed it out or others, but there were already, contractors and other people affected on the Marathon team. So it's not like it's not
Yeah.
like it's some new golden child. Like everybody's
No.
affected, and in addition to trying to like keep the team pointed in a new direction. But
I know some engineers
Yeah.
that are on the Marathon team and they're gone.
yeah,
And so it's
that
not like
sucks.
they were just like, okay, Destiny people, you're all gone. Marathon people, you're all here.
Yeah.
It's like they've significantly cut down the company, period.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes, since it is their only active live product.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can maybe delve into it, next week. 'cause
Yeah.
Maybe this week isn't the time, but they are
There's so
trying
much
out
other news. Yeah.
a new PvE thing.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Me too. Yeah, me too. We didn't talk about Xbox shutting down Bunch Studios. They're doing that too.
Yeah.
And raising console prices.
And raising
Ah.
console prices. In their announcement today, they said, by the way, it's getting more expensive, but we're not going to tell you how much it is. You're going to have to find out for yourself somewhere else. Not in this article.
They made you do
Are
the
they
math.
talking about
yeah.
the current
Checkout.
Xbox or
They
the
made you do the
next
math.
Xbox?
This one.
This one. Oh, I mean,
$750, I believe, for
oh
1
my
terabyte.
God.
And then they have completely eliminated the 2 terabyte version.
Just
Yeah,
because
they're
it's like
sunsetting.
it's so wildly expensive.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. So in that sense, like PlayStation 5 Pro has no competitor, other than, I guess you could say, Steam.
Yeah, but how
machine
long
in
till
some
they
ways,
have
but-
to raise the price of that thing again?
Well, they already did. Yeah, it's $900 now. Yeah, I lined up the prices, but yeah, effective August 1st, the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte model. That one was already, I forget, $800 or $900, and it's like sunset because it's can't do it anymore. But then, yeah, as Watts pointed out, they announced all this, and they were so afraid to write the final prices down for it. It's so weird. It seems so like disingenuous to
Tell
do that,
us.
right? But
Yeah.
they're like the 512 gigabyte models will be increasing 100, and the 1 terabyte models will be increasing by 150 or so. And so you had to like go and piece it together. But what that means, roughly speaking, is Xbox Series X 1 terabyte digital only is going to be $750, right? So the digital 1 terabyte Xbox Series X, which if you equivocate that with the PlayStation 5 825 gigabyte, that's still $600, which is interesting. So if you look
I
at that,
shouldn't have
it's
sold
like
my
Xbox
Xbox when I did. I should have waited.
But
Right.
nobody's-
Should have held out.
And Xbox Series S 1 terabyte will be, this is again after August 1st, $600.
Oh,
So, in
man.
short order, it's just like we already heard this story before when they increased prices. It's like, well, you're basically saying you're not going to sell any more Xboxes, is what it sounds like.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
this is crazy. And then yeah, we've got like the $900 PS5 Pro. The regular PS5 is how much did we say?
Your firstborn.
600 for the 825 digital
600.
version.
And then you've got the Steam Machine, lowest price around $1,050.
Yeah.
And
No
then Switch
controller.
2 is $500.
Yeah, that I
was
forgot. That
looking
will
at
be, yeah.
Switch 2, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow. Now that they're adding all of these, they're adding past games on there. You've got like a lot of Capcom's games that are now coming to Switch 2 right away. I'm like, Switch 2 might actually be the play for
Right?
a
No
lot of
kidding.
people at this point.
I was playing it all day because
Crazy.
I got a Star Fox today.
Oh,
yeah.
And it is
I figured I was going to ask you on that.
it is a wonderful little system playing wonderful games. Like the Switch 2 is surprisingly powerful. Like the graphics are surprisingly good, especially when you compare it to the Switch 1, right? It's like they really upped the power on this thing. With
Yeah.
4K output. Yeah, it's not a PC running a 5090, but games look great on it.
Yeah, it's crazy that the Nintendo philosophy, we finally, just because the economy and AI really is to blame,
Right.
but data centers and all, but like Nintendo, who I'm like, God, can you just make like a decent, powerful console? And it's like they're like, we don't do that, right? Everything's like a little quirky and more of a toy appeal, so to speak. And like that's good. It's family friendly. It's affordable. And like before, meaning it always looked like that's how Nintendo does it. And
It's
now
getting
you're
left
looking at it.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah, now you're like, oh, they just managed to get this like reasonably priced console. Like
Yeah.
if they can in a few years, probably like you can get GTA 6 working on that, it'll be like the biggest accomplishment. It probably can't, but It is amazing to see that it's such a good value proposition. Yeah, I saw today out like DMC 5 is like an ultimate edition, and it was in the Capcom Spotlight, and it's like $30 on sale right now. And I'm like, that is an amazing deal compared to everything else out there right now.
It
So
really is insane.
you just can't play games on day one, maybe, is what we're looking at.
I don't know. A lot of the
Maybe. Yeah, it's
Capcom
getting
games have
better.
been coming out on day one. They look great
Onimusha
on
is coming day
Switch 2.
one.
Yeah. What was the most recent Capcom game? The one with was it
Pragmata.
Pragmata? Didn't that come out day
Pragmata.
one on Switch 2?
I think it's coming to Switch 2
Okay.
now. Yeah,
The-
they're getting them all on there.
And the one, the Resident Evil I know came out on Switch 2.
Did Requiem come out on it?
I'm pretty sure.
No.
Requiem is coming out or is out.
Pretty
but
sure
yeah.
it came out on Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they got the engine tuned up for it. So yeah, no, it is. You're right. No, it is already out. Wow. Yeah, some of it's like, again, your brain is trained at like, it's kind of surprising that within a year they've really pulled off, especially with Capcom. But pretty much everything is running on it now, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks
Speaking of
great, especially
Capcom,
if you're playing
Watts,
it on the portable screen.
I just wanted to mention, Watts, that tonight I thought Watts would be proud of my son tonight
Oh,
because
yeah?
he decided he wanted to try a new video game. And so I was going
Ooh.
through my collection and he was like, Dad, I want to try that. And he spent a solid hour trying out Monster Hunter.
nice.
Yeah.
Got through the tutorial, got to like home base, and then spent a whole bunch of time in the training room trying to figure out, because I was like, coach was like, hey, here's what this weapon's about. This is difficulty level, and he's going through the whole list. And yeah, he's excited to play it. So
That's what we like to hear.
he'll be way better than I ever was in a week.
That kids learn so fast. If you're getting destroyed by online, it's probably some 11-year-old that's
Yeah.
the old time in the world.
Picked
Always
up the game
has
last
been.
week.
Yep.
What do you guys think, like, knowing what's going on with hardware prices? Because it's prices, right? It's the prices that's doing this. It's like, it's not really Microsoft's fault that they have to raise the price of the Xbox.
Yeah.
It just costs so much more to make one of these things now.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do? Sell it at a $400 loss? They can't do that. I mean, they could, but I mean, honestly, things aren't looking great for the Xbox division.
Yeah.
But rumors are that they might sell it off.
Yeah.
So,
Xbox, yeah, they already were like, I don't think the price that you're hitting the nail on the head, that was not the Xbox's biggest issue. I mean, obviously it's an issue, but PlayStation 5 was the choice, at least from a direct comparison on those two. And like, it wasn't going to catch up. And so,
now
it's not their fault, but
you're looking at, like theoretically they were going to launch the next PlayStation and Xbox next year, but like that seems like a pipe dream at this point. It's like, how can you launch a new console at this point? Because it's going to be priced astronomically. And like, there are still people who would prefer to have a console over a PC, but this thing is going to be priced like a mid-range PC. Right? I mean, it has to be. Otherwise, they just take a huge
That's
loss.
kind of
So,
what
like,
their
what do you
plan
do at this
was,
point?
I
Like, do you
think.
just, like, hold off and wait to see what happens with, all these computer prices? Or do you, like, say, okay, we're going to just reduce the spec of the next Xbox? Or do you just, like, we're just going to keep this Xbox and run with it for a while? Like, what do you do? It seems like coming out with a brand new Xbox at this point just seems dumb. Like, it
I
just doesn't
wouldn't-
make a whole lot of
yeah.
sense.
Like, it makes sense for Steam Machine to continue with their thing because they already had, like, they were planning on making it. But I think, or had already basically made it. But I think at this point, for a new PlayStation and a new Xbox, I would just not bother, because there's no way that most people are going to be spending 1,000 plus on anything, especially on a console.
yeah, I was gonna say that. I was looking at the numbers again on the price. It's like, actually, I guess you got to give them credit for Xbox Series S somehow as well, falling in this really interesting spot where it's in production, and they should. I mean, you look at the numbers, in other words, and it's like they should really lean into that. How can they get more people really optimizing for the Series S? I mean, they've been trying for sure, but on a price front, that's your console at this point. If you're Xbox,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good point.
Because there is no PlayStation equivalent to that one. So, and then of course you got cloud gaming, but I just don't think we're anywhere near people being like, that's, a big thing in
Well,
their life.
that's why with the announcement article, we're saying that they're going to be doing a bunch of like payment options for people.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
at
not
this point,
surprised.
if people are going to continue with this hobby and being a gamer is going to be a thing, then people are going to have to put their consoles on some kind of payment plan.
I don't like
Yep.
that. I don't like that
Yeah,
one bit.
Yeah. I mean, that was part of why I joked about not play stuff on day one, because in other words, if you can buy stuff for like $20 cheaper and you buy 5 games a year, you're approaching saving $100 a year. And so, I mean, take you a while depending on how many games you buy, but you get the point. Wherever you can save right now is kind of just, I mean, but that's across the board. I mean, economically,
Yep.
depending on where you live, and it's just like, it does seem like we're in a very tricky spot when it comes to buying like new hardware, new PC stuff. It doesn't matter what it is, new phones. We're just probably approaching an area where things will not be within reach as much in terms of new tech, higher tech, because it's just so freaking expensive.
Yeah, it's I mean, the good thing is that the payment plans, I don't believe, have any interest. So
Yeah,
it's literally
correct.
just I can't afford to pay $1,000 at one point.
I'm sure they
So
don't have
I'm
any
gonna
interest
pay.
as long as you pay every month on time. But
Right.
always the hidden
The
fuck you in
penalty.
these things are
Yeah.
if you fuck up at all, they come after you with the 30%
Yes.
interest rate.
Yeah, it'll be
That's
like you
why,
owe
like,
the
yeah.
full thing plus 30%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why if we're going to do one of these things, like you can take advantage. A lot of people who have money to buy things all at once take advantage of these things because as long as you're able to pay, like $200 a month or whatever, and comfortably, then you're going to be fine, and you don't have to worry about like a huge bunch of money coming out your pockets at one time. So if you are going to do any of these things, just make sure that you are in the position to actually pay that amount that you're doing. You're not doing the thing of like, I have literally no money, so I'm going to take out a payment plan. It should be like, I just don't have that much money, but I have this, and so I can get the thing.
Yeah, I like
that
Fran's
much.
idea. Yeah, playing older games and saving your money and buying the thing outright. I do not like getting on these payment plans where nobody's going to
Generally
read the
speaking, I don't either.
fine print on these things. Who knows how they're going to get you if you even if it's not your fault. Like,
Yeah.
Just be
In the
careful.
meantime,
Yeah.
you can dive into the budding genre of friend slop and buy games
Yeah.
for $6.
Right.
Yep.
Dude, there's a new one this week, dude. We've been playing so much of it. It's super fun. It's called
What is
Meccha
Mecca Chameleon?
Chameleon.
Yeah, I knew I
they
was going to
sold
ask you.
They sold like 7 million copies in a
Wow.
week. Yeah.
Yep.
So we've been playing a ton of
That's
it, me and
crazy.
my friends, and it's just a hilarious, fun time.
You should tell us about it because I
Yeah,
was
what-
just about
what
to
is it?
say similarly. I was like, we've joked for a long time that the appeal of Steam Machine is like, actually, it's amazing how many games are on Steam that are old or indie or
Yeah.
demos for free. And like, it's a big appeal if you have a PC or Steam, but you play a lot of this stuff with your friends, especially.
Yeah,
Friends
my
Slop is
friends
great.
are suckers for friend slop games.
But I've been hearing a lot about Meccha Chameleon. I looked at a little of it and it looks pretty funny.
All right, here's the basic gist. If you've ever played any of the like prop hunt, prop and seek style games, it's similar to that, but it's actually really well executed. So basically, what happens is you load into a map, and your character, one of you will be selected to be the hunter. So you don't load into the map yet. You're in a separate waiting room. Everybody else goes to the map, and you're like a humanoid, but you're shrunk down a little bit so that you're like waist height on an average human. And you're perfectly white. You're basically a blank canvas. So you're going to run around the map and find some, maybe you find a stop sign. So you climb up the stop sign and you like T-pose on top of it.
Yeah.
But now
Stick
you
yourself
open
to
up
it.
like a paint menu and you like, wherever the sign stops and your arm starts, right, you're going to paint like continue the S and the T and the O and the P. And you have to color yourself and try and make yourself blend in, right? Like PETA from freaking Hunger Games. You know what I'm saying? And then the hunter loads in after a certain amount of time. He's got a shotgun. He's running around trying to find all the people that are hiding, and it's just silly
So
fun.
What I wondered about that, because like I get that it's okay. So you set up the props as it were, and the hunter's waiting. There's a little like waiting on both sides. But that's what I was wondering. If you are hiding, what are you looking at again while they're hunting? Are you
Yeah, and
looking
this is
through their
actually
eyes?
that's a
or,
great
like,
question. Great question.
Thank
One of the things that the game does really well is it basically asks the question, what are players going to want to do in the meantime? So if you're hiding, you can go into a free cam mode where you can just fly around and follow the hunter, see what they're looking at, and you get points. Not if you just find a hidden corner of the map and you tuck into it into a small ball and no one ever finds you, it's like, haha, they never find you. But you got 0 points. The way to get points is to actually be in the hunter's line of sight.
Oh.
So you really need to be good at blending in. So you could go to a secret corner and never be found and lose the round. And I could get found halfway through the round. But if my spot was so good that he stared at me for, 30
Yeah.
seconds straight before noticing I was there, I rack up a ton of points.
Gosh.
So it's just really fun. And you've got the free cam. You also have a basic feature where at the end of every round, if you were not found, it will highlight all of the hiders so the hunter can run around, because everyone wants to be found eventually. Even if they don't get found in the round, they want their spot to be noticed, right? So he can run over to you and be like, oh my gosh, I never saw you. And then you're like, yeah, look at me, and that's so great. So it's just really fun. It's just
sounds like a
silly,
lot of
goofy fun. And one of the things they did is they were like, we ship all these maps, but we also want it to be open for other people to create stuff. So there are already in the workshop just dozens and dozens and dozens of completely free maps that you can download. You can play on Bikini Bottom. There's a really cool Minecraft map that we download. It's like a Minecraft villager village, right? And so they saw that a lot of these Minecraft maps are taking off. So their very first update came out, was it today? Where you can now select a new humanoid character that's blocky instead of rounded. So you can blend into Minecraft custom maps better. Stuff like that. Isn't that great? So it's just silly fun. What is it? I don't remember the cost of it. $8? $6? $6. Play hide and seek with your
I want
friends.
to play this.
in a
This looks
silly
like a
way.
ton of fun.
Oh, we just cackle.
Yeah, great.
I'm
I'm gonna have a couple of beers with some friends and
my wife and sister-in-law, I was in stitches laughing so hard because there's a map that we played on where there's a bronze horse statue just up on its haunches like this. They went the entire round without me finding them. My sister-in-law curled up as the balls. And my wife did a perfect like this.
Amazing.
Was the junk. And I never saw them. I was just like, horses hung, and just kept going around. Never.
Well, that checks out. I'm not going to inspect it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to linger on that too long because then they're going to call me a weirdo. So
Yeah.
why are you staring at that horse's junk?
Hiding in an uncomfortable place. That's great.
This looks
Yeah,
like
it was
fun.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that game's been all the rage, I guess. Yeah, it was like 6-7 million copies. It's way up there.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't even
crazy.
know about it. My wife was the one that shared it with the group. She's like, "You guys, we should check this out." I was like, "Oh, here we go, more friend slop." And then I was like, "Hey, it's super fun."
A lot of these friend slap games are super fun.
Yeah.
I've been playing I mentioned earlier the new Star Fox game, or this new Star Fox remake for the Switch
Yay.
2. This is a 30-year-old game that just looks really nice now. They did add a bunch of stuff. It was fairly controversial how they added cutscenes and a new look for Fox McCloud and his buddies. It's kind of funny. It starts off and you're actually James McCloud, or Jimmy. I like to call him Jimmy McCloud, who is Fox's father. But the weird thing is his name is James and he's a fox, but then he names his kid Fox.
Fox?
So, yeah, he's Fox. Why would you name your fox? It's like naming your
It's
kid
best not-
Human.
Human.
I mean,
Human
you've seen
boy,
the
man.
characters in this game. I wouldn't
Slippy
look too.
the Toad.
But he's not called
Falco.
Toad.
Falcon.
Yeah, Falco.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know,
Falco's
the
a
name,
little
you're right.
spot on,
Well, on
but
the
it's not
nose.
Fox.
Yeah.
In
You make a
Prior,
good
this
point.
game was made when we were children. For
But-
children.
For children, yeah.
But his name was James. So there was a history of
She came
using
down in a
human
bubble.
names. Also, the fire button, the Nintendo controller, the A button is like all the way over here.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? That button sucks, man. Like it's like you're basically like hitting your, and there's no option to change it. You cannot like switch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've got the like your laser button here, which you're just constantly pressing, and then your bomb button is the Y button, which is way over here. Which wouldn't you think that's your action button that you're hitting all the time? Would be like this nice comfy one where your thumb is nicely laid out over the controller, as opposed to all scrunched up and like touching your pointer finger.
Johnny brings up a good point.
What's Johnny
Have you
say?
considered the new N64 Switch controller?
The GameCube controller is the key.
Yeah, I was about to say that's your real answer.
You got the big ass A button.
Listen,
right here in the middle.
Great controller. Great controller.
Dude, that controller for the right games is so good.
I switched to this. I'm like, oh, thank God. But this is,
amazing.
what?
So it does work
$50?
fine, right?
That's so funny.
Yeah, it works awesome.
Dude,
it works perfectly.
That was my first thought when you were describing it. I was like, yeah, that's why you use the Switch GameCube
in the
controller.
year of our Lord, what year is it? 2026. To not be able to remap, to just switch between like some buttons.
Nintendo
also,
doesn't care.
You cannot adjust the sensitivity of your aiming. So you're like your left stick, like you're just stuck with the standard sensitivity. You can, however, use mouse mode, but only if you think chaos is the one true path, because using mouse mode, it automatically transfers you to a first person, like in the cockpit view.
Oh, you don't have the choice of regular with the mouse?
No, it's just like as soon as you go into mouse mode, it just like puts you in the cockpit, and now you're like, who controls a spaceship with a mouse? You need a joystick, like not a mouse. Like, what is this? What is this?
Well, what happens when you do barrel rolls? Do you throw up?
Do a barrel roll.
Like genuinely, I would be like, I'd be barfing all over my screen.
No, I didn't blow chunks, but I didn't stay in that. I did not stay in that mode. Once I realized I couldn't just play in like the third person, like looking at the back of your spaceship mode with the mouse, because it seemed like the mouse would be great. You'd have so much accuracy, but of course it doesn't work like a mouse on a computer where you just point to a spot and click. It's more like using, like a mouse converter for a console where you're treating a mouse like a joystick, and you know what I mean.
Awkward.
It is awkward. So mouse mode. Other than that, though, no notes. This game is amazing. It looks fantastic. They've added a bunch of like new game modes, like challenges and challenge modes. So they've added a bunch of stuff. It is an arcade mode. Each level, there's only, I think, 16 levels. Each level is going to take you like 5 minutes to get through. Some are less, some are more. The first playthrough took me an hour and a half to get to the end. Through the whole campaign was like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But what it does after that is, right, is you don't see the real ending. You got to go back and you've got to uncover like secret paths, and you've got to complete challenges during the levels. And you can only see, I think, like 5 or 6 levels per playthrough. And there's branching paths to not only to choose between levels, but also in the level, you can do certain things that will unlock a secret path in the level. For instance, in the very first level, Falco asks you to follow him through these like arches that are along the ground. And if you follow him through all of them, then he says, okay, I know about this secret path through this waterfall, and you follow him through the waterfall and you get a different boss at the end. And like, if you do that on certain levels, you can actually unlock different cutscenes, different endings for the game. So it's like, you're only going to play the game for an hour and a half at a playthrough, but you've got to keep replaying it to kind of unlock all this stuff.
Yeah, it's good you set it up that way, because it's funny that we even have to describe it, because like it's an arcadey, shooter game, and like, I guess it's important to remember that it is it's an old game that's been modernized. But like this is just the genre. Like, it's more about the replayability, and like you were saying, but you'll face like a new boss or a new pathway, and like but that's what it's meant to be. It's not like It's not like you just are meant to roll the credits. You can if you want to do that and walk away, but it is meant to be
Yeah, at
replayed.
$60,
So I think
that would
it's
be, I think, disappointing if you played it for an hour and a half. You rolled the credits and walked
definitely.
away.
Yeah. Is it? I thought it was 50. Is it 50 or 60?
It might be 50.
Do you remember?
I can't remember.
I think it's 50. But either way, it is a full priced game, and
Yeah.
I don't, you know me, I don't judge stuff
It is,
as much
yeah.
based on the hours. Like, and I've talked with some of my close Nintendo friends about it, and yeah, they had nothing but good notes. They're like, yeah, like it looks really nice.
It does.
It was I forget if it's Virtuos. I forget the studio that did it, but yeah, they did a
I
great
think that's
job.
right.
Like,
Virtuos sounds right.
but
It-
yeah,
it looks
great.
outstanding.
I'm planning on playing it. Yeah.
Like in motion, on the Switch screen and on a 4K TV, like both look fantastic. It's very playable, I think, on the Switch itself, which makes it kind of a perfect Switch game because each level takes you a few minutes to play. You can pick up, play a level or two, put it down. Whereas so many Switch games, they want you to invest 6 hours between
Yeah,
saves.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this
No,
doesn't
I
seem
think
like a
it-
portable experience to me.
Yeah.
But Star Fox just kind of works out good that way because of that arcade nature.
Yeah. Yeah, and
But
correction. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say you were right. It's $60 physical, which is all you. That's Briar. You probably
That's why I
got
paid
physical.
60. I
Did
paid
if you just
more.
download it like most people, it is 50. But yeah, I forgot that's the Nintendo thing as well.
I didn't know they were doing that. They're charging more for physical now.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing that since the beginning, pretty much. So, but it's in a Switch 2 exclusive as well, which is, love or hate, but like you need exclusives, even
Yep.
if it's based on a very old game. I mean, it's a nice new addition if you're a Switch 2 owner.
Yeah,
sure
and
it
if you're
seems.
into this type of game, like that Space Harrier, Panzer Dragon kind of gameplay experience, it's a fun one of those. I don't think it's got the depth of Panzer Dragoon. Is that the right name of that game?
Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
Saga was the RPG, right? And then
Oh yeah,
1
that's
and
right.
2,
You're talking about the yeah, I guess it was the first one, huh?
the
Or the
on-rail
first in the
shooters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It's Panzer Dragoon.
So if you're a fan of this type of style of game, it's a good one of those. It does feel a little limited, like the area you fly your ship in feels a little small-ish.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's just what I mean. I haven't played it, but I'm like, that's just my memory of Starfighter. They're pretty tight, like
Yeah,
little windows for shooting.
I
on
feel like that
rails.
might have been like a limitation of the hardware it's on originally, and
Mm.
I don't know. How faithful
Yeah.
do you have to be at this point? But it looks great. It plays
Yeah.
great. It's really fun. But
Mm.
warning, like it's not, a 30-hour campaign that you're going to work your way through over.
No.
It's an old school. This
Don't
game was
expect
on
Tears of the
N64
Kingdom.
cart.
Yeah.
And if you're only doing one playthrough, it's like 30 minutes. So be careful.
Yeah. You want to replay this over and over to try and
It's a
get the true
replayable
ending.
thing, yeah.
Also, it's kind of easy, and they did make a decision that I don't love, is that they locked the hard mode behind
You have to beat it.
challenges that you have to complete in in
Oh.
like normal mode. And normal mode feels easy to me.
Yeah.
So I don't love that. I would have loved to be able to just start on a harder
Straight up.
mode, because I think it would have been a little more fun to kind of progress through the game. I think it would have been especially the first playthrough of the campaign, a little more interesting.
Yeah, to have to work for it. Yeah.
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 Other than that,
that's a
though,
strange.
I really love it. I think it's a lot of fun. Aside from the whole, like, how do you name your kid Human? Like, come on, man. Really? Like, we're doing
That'd
this?
be a thing.
Like, your name is Jimmy. You can't think of something better than Fox? Like, what kind
That's
of,
a
like...
great. I'm definitely all right. Yeah, I got to get on having kids here so I can name him Human Mirabella. This is a great idea. It's such a poor kid.
I love it.
This is my son, Human. It is very, when you explain it that way, you're like, yeah, that is very confusing.
It's weird. Like, why would you do that?
You're overthinking this. It was a kid's game.
It's
No,
a
and
talking
also-
fox as well.
Also, Star
That's in outer
Fox
space.
is like the name of a ship. So they're
Yeah.
talking about like different foxes. You're like, wait, what are we talking about? Are we talking about like the main ship? We're talking about The kid? What are we talking? Are we just talking about the?
You know what? I think it's a social commentary on the fact that humans give their children animal names sometimes. I could see a kid called
Oh,
Fox, a kid called Wolf, and they're like,
okay,
okay, my kid's human.
human.
Social commentary.
I think Jimmy
Mhm,
might have just been
mhm.
a deadbeat dad. He couldn't think of a name for his kid. You know?
I think it's social commentary. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
They're
it's
like,
a
see, it's
nickname, and
silly,
he
isn't it?
do we actually? Maybe is it on his birth certificate prior? Maybe it's just a nickname, and we don't really know yet. That's like
Could
Star
be.
Fox 4 or
That's the
whatever it is
Star
now.
Fox deep lore.
That's the
That's
next
what
one that's coming after
we gotta
this.
get
You're
Mylan
gonna
working on
finally
this.
learn his real name. Yeah.
That's
Where's
the lore
Mylan
that
when we need
Fran
him?
is finding still in
Yes.
Metro in his green crystals in the desert. Yeah.
Anyhow,
Other big news.
Yeah.
GTA 6
Yes.
pre-orders.
Holy
know
no
the price.
physical on this, right?
Yeah, so
So why do I
there
gotta
was no
pre-order it?
physical. So there was no physical. It was going to come with a game code in the box. Then today they said we will be doing a physical with a disc, but it's going to be later. We don't know when.
Okay. Why do I gotta pre-order it then?
You don't. I think any digital thing you shouldn't pre-order, and you should just keep the money in your pocket until like the day before if you want the pre-order bonuses, and do it then.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did they
But
say
the game
pricing?
is $80,
Mhm.
and the ultimate is $100.
What do you get in the ultimate?
You get access to some stores that are not accessible in the $80 version.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. I was like, here he goes. Wait for it.
All right, is this like a store in game where I use in-game currency, or is this a store where I could go and pay real money to buy stuff?
So I think the way that they're doing it is, say that there's clothing stores, right? You have the regular clothing store that you can go to with your cheap ass version, your $80 version.
Uh-huh.
And then they
Broke boy
have
store.
your broke boy store. And then you have the 100 Ultimate Edition store that has like all of your fancy clothes that you get for having the Ultimate Edition. So I think what they're doing is, instead of like buying the Ultimate Edition and then you get the download and you just like the stuff's just in your inventory.
Yeah.
I think the way that they're doing it is putting physical locations that you go to get the tattoos in the special tattoo shop and the
Okay,
mods
but I'm
for
using
your car
in-game
special-
currency.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have the thing already, I assume.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
I don't
just
know what
curious.
it costs to use the shops, but as I understand, yeah, they're like
Yeah.
they're locations in the new, game that you drive and walk to, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have exclusive access to those.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Which
I'm
also,
curious, Fran,
Yeah.
if I have the $80 version
I was about
and
to
I
say
go
the
up
same
to the store, do they say,
Do
get
you
your
see the
broke ass
store?
out of here?
Yeah, they're gonna heckle you.
You're like you're like
So,
Pretty
I don't-
Woman walking into like Versace and they're like,
Yeah.
I don't think
And
the
they'll-
store is
No.
for you.
All the workers are like, you should get out. And then a pop-up comes
Do
up
we
and
need to
says,
call security?
this is only available for $20 extra, my friend.
Yeah. You need to get
Sorry,
your broke
this
ass
is not a
out of here.
homeless camp.
And you also get some story content and side missions, which GTA has done before, apparently, but I
Yeah.
didn't know that. But GTA did do that before, where you pay the Ultimate Edition and you get more side missions. You get that as well. It's just people are more aware of the fact that you're basically getting the full game for $100, but then we're also selling this less complete version for $80 if you can't afford $100.
It's better than when they used to
Kinda how it
do
comes
like
across.
the Target edition and the GameStop edition and the Best Buy edition, and they'd all have different content.
Oh, Jesus.
Remember when they used to do
Yeah.
that?
Jesus
that-
Christ.
That was a fucking
It's
hellhole.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a bunch of details in there stuff, but I think the short of it is basically though, for an extra $20, sure, you get a bunch of cosmetics already built in, exclusive weapon skins, and like it all looks sick. And like part of that's like normal for Ultimate Editions, fine. But in the open world, yeah, you have exclusive shops that you can customize looks further and do some really cool stuff, and then this exclusive side mission, and like I just think it's super lame for a company as successful as Rockstar to have to monetize that. I just think it's so lame, and for that they're just such a gold standard. Like, we're gonna take 13 years and create the absolute best, game possible, right? Which you can really respect. Like, they've been very good at like I mean, they're just in a world of their own. And for them to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, but we're also just going to monetize this with exclusive in-game content is super lame. And I mean, yeah, if anybody else did this, I think we'd be hearing even more about it. I don't think,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think most people are like, yeah, I was going to buy it anyway because I
Would
was just
we?
like,
I don't think we would. I
Yeah.
feel like games do this all the time. It's like there's extra content if you buy the Ultimate Edition. This happens all the time.
well, it does, but nobody I mean, I thought I feel like it's the Ubisoft thing. I don't know where it started. I think that's one of the places. And then it's just like, oh, we have an exclusive mission. And it's like, it's so lame. Like, stop
It's especially
locking
lame
game. Yeah.
because, like, if any company can afford to just have a regular price game, it's this company that sold 230 million copies of GTA 5 and continues to make money through their online with all the millions it has made through that. So if I personally think it would be wonderful if they said, "Hey, look, we're going to make even more money. It's going to be the biggest game that's ever been made. We're going to sell it for $60." Even having it be 80, I'm like, listen, I know this took a long time for you to make, but you are going to make so much money. You do not even need to charge people $80 for it.
Imagine
You
if
are
it
going
comes
to
out and it's
sell
a 6 out of
hundreds
10.
of millions.
Imagine if it comes out and it's just like,
That would be
eh.
the discourse would be hilarious, and that I would be here for that. That
What
would
if
be
it
fun.
drops like Cyberpunk did?
It just doesn't work. It's like 20
all broken.
FPS. And
I doubt that after all these years.
They
I
would
mean,
never.
GTA is famously
I'm not rooting
jank.
for
I
it,
think
but
it's,
it would be
yeah.
interesting.
it would be funny. Yeah.
I mean, notoriously, the game's always incredible in its own ways, but it's always janky as well. But this is very different where it's been like, I think 13 years or whatever. It's
Yeah.
been an insane amount of development time.
I thought 5 dropped in pretty good nick. I remember playing 5 at launch on PlayStation 3. And it was just
It's
like,
just
this
their
is pretty
online that didn't work at all.
Yes,
I
that's
lo-
true. That
I
didn't
was
work at all.
hooked on GTA 5 online out of the gate. And I was full send into the racing, and I made millions on racing. And so I was like, within the first week, I had some of the best cars in the game. And one of the like S-class cars, it was called the Entity. And people who play this, there's probably people in chat who already know where I'm going with this, who played that game. The Entity was busted because that car had no rear window. So it means that if you backed up to people, you could just hold your pistol out the window and kill them, but they could not kill you because there was no window to shoot through. Every other car, you could kill someone from behind by shooting through the window. The Entity, you
Oh
couldn't.
my
So I
God.
trolled lobbies so hard by just driving in reverse and just killing people like crazy. Just driving backwards through the city, just cooking people. Oh man, I was a menace.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they look at it like, just for the shops at least, where it's like, well, that's, meaning it's just more cosmetic stuff. Yes, there's shops in the game, but it's like, it's saying like, well, these are just like more cosmetics, which is normal for exclusive, limited, or ultimate editions. But yeah, like the precedent and for them to feel like they have to continue that, I mean,
Did you
it's
know
super lame.
that there is a subscription called GTA Plus? Now, I
Oh,
am
yeah.
not I don't play Grand Theft Auto, basically. Not anymore.
Mm.
I did, when I was a child. Which is when you're supposed to play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, clearly.
Not now. I'm
Definitely.
too old
How
for
dare
it.
It's
you?
for
I'm
kids.
too old. I'm too
Clearly.
old. It's for children
not
who
an
want
adult
to
game.
pretend to be in strip clubs and live that life. Now I can live the life in reality, so I don't need it
That's
anymore.
true.
I'm too old. Uh, but the GTA Plus, I heard that it gives you a lot of quality of life things. So, for example, instead of having to physically go to a store and collect money, you have access to the GTA Plus menu where you can collect money from the menu.
Hmm.
If
Probably.
that's true, which I will look into it, but if that's true, I hate this company. that is like just the most basic quality of life thing that you're charging a subscription for.
Yeah, that seems like it
I'm
sucks,
looking into it
Watts.
tonight, but that's really bad.
That does seem like it
That's
sucks.
really bad. It's true.
If
It's
that
so
was
bad.
implemented, I could tell you that would have been a late addition to the game.
Well, because now
Because I don't
when
think
you
that was a thing like
pre-order,
in the first few
mm,
It
years when
wasn't
I
right
was
along.
I
playing
don't.
it.
It wasn't.
It
No,
didn't
no,
exist before
it didn't
or when
exist
the
back
game launched.
then. Yeah. So now, if you get GTA 6, you can get 1 month of this GTA Plus for free, but you have to make sure you cancel before it automatically renews you.
Of course. Yeah, I'm looking at a PlayStation. It's $8 right now.
The more we talk
So
about this game, the more I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised that the biggest. I mean, it's practically one of the biggest pop culture franchises in entertainment when you think about it, right? So it's not surprising that it's capitalistic, and I mean that is what entertainment is. It's just that, yeah, I was definitely dismayed to hear about like in-game shops as like this weird way to
Right.
like draw you in to buying cosmetics, because a lot of people are like, I'm never going to use those skins, but now it's like it's this loop of like customization that
Oh,
and I
what if
haven't looked
they-
into the.
What if they stock the stores like they restock the stores too? Like, so like a month in, like, oh, there's new premium.
Well, no, I believe what they are, Briar, are well, there might be new stuff to add, but the point is it's like personal customization. Like, I don't know if it's tattoos, and I got to look
Yeah,
at the
it's
details, but
tattoo. It's
yeah,
everything actually. It's
hair and
tattoos. It's
yeah,
haircuts.
so
It's mod shops. It's
right.
clothes.
But the
Yeah.
point is, it's a mod. These are mod shops for your car and yourself and other things that has a bunch of options. So in other words, meaning you are always like in this loop if I want to change things up.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. On
Which you
top of
do
it,
in
they
these
might even
games.
introduce new things into it. I don't know. That's another good question.
I don't know, man.
imagine?
I would not waste money on that because this game is going to be around for a long time, and they are
Mhm.
going just like GTA 5. They're going to introduce all these tiny little additions and mod packs and expansion packs and all that kind of stuff to buy all these other kinds of cosmetics. Those things are going to get outdated within a month. You know, I would not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and yeah, like
Yeah.
you're kind of nailing it too. Like if you're just playing GTA, it's gonna be GTA 6 is going to be so massive in the first place with probably so much customization. I'm sure that if you ask like one of the producers, like that's the first thing they'll tell you is they're like, look, like the customization's cool, like we're really proud of what the team did, but there's so much in the game, like you may never even decide to stop by. So it probably does net out to be that, but again, for me, I always get caught up on the confusion of it, the continuation of this, like, wait, so do I need it or not? This lack of trust. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, wait, am I getting the full game or not? And like, yeah, the answer is like, it's probably such a small piece, but it's the
Yeah.
continued confusion sucks, man.
I think also it's the upsetting thing. The thing that is upsetting people as well is like if these are physical locations, how is it going to be communicated to me that I don't have access to them? Because when someone else gets an ultimate edition of whatever and it's just in their pocket, that's very different to being out in the world in a game that is supposed to be incredibly immersive and you being like, are they just not in your game? Like, how are they going to communicate that? Because in an immersive game, if you're walking around and it's like you can't go into certain places unless you pay,
That
I
seems
think
pretty
it could.
immersive to me.
Well,
Yeah,
if
Sounds
there's a
about right.
pop-up, if there's a pop-up and it's like,
My
if
guess
you
is you're
don't
going to
have the
be
ultimate
able.
edition.
They will want you to see what you can't purchase. So my guess
Right.
is they
Yeah,
will allow you to walk into the store and get eyes on the
You
product,
gotta-
even preview what it looks like
Mm.
on your character, but not buy.
Right, because you'll
That'd
be
be
able
my
to
guess.
upgrade
Yeah.
to ultimate edition.
And then it
right?
will be
Yeah.
like red when it's supposed to have the currency
That's
there.
right.
It'll be red and say
Yeah.
you need the ultimate edition.
Yeah, and it's
for
probably it's like an exclusive club, right, or store you have access to. So yeah, I mean that's probably really the way to do it, though. Is maybe
Yeah.
you can also argue like, look, it feels like a bit of FOMO, especially if you really just want to play the game and not worry about do I have access to this or I might want to try it. But you can upgrade probably. I'm pretty sure you can. So you like just get the
How's
game
it?
as is, and then
I mean,
you can decide if you really want
yeah.
it after.
I don't know. I'm not defending monetization models
Seems
that
like
are
you're
weird.
defending
But
it.
at the same time, it's like, isn't this just a different version of what we do with every game?
Yeah.
I
Pretty
mean, you
much.
just.
But that's the
I
problem.
mean, even with Destiny,
want it to
you
stop.
as soon as you load into the tower, immediately on your left is a lady who will only accept real money and will show you all the things that you can't have unless you put real money into the machine.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's right there. It is a store right there. How is this that much different? I don't
Yeah.
think that it is. I don't know.
It may not be
I
different,
don't
but is
like
it?
that they're already charging higher than retail value of your average game, and then you also have to
Yeah, it's
pay
$80.
$20
Yeah,
even higher than the average retail copy of a game to get access to all of
yeah.
this.
Yes. Video gaming is
Also, it's
becoming
not coming
very
out on
expensive.
PC. We haven't seen any gameplay.
That's
We
my
haven't
biggest
seen
beef.
what's the performance gonna be like. Am I gonna be playing 30 FPS on a base PS5? Because I ain't paying $80 to play on 30 FPS on a base PS5 in 2026.
I don't think I'm going to be buying it for on launch
Yeah.
Yeah, you've
because
mentioned that
my
you'll wait it
PS5
out.
is moved up into the family room and my son's gaming on it. I'm not
Perfect.
going
We
to be
already
sitting
established
there.
this is a kid's game.
Yeah, yeah. Watt says this is a kid's game. I'll tell my wife. I'm sure she'll be fine with it.
Yeah, I think Watts was kind of hitting on it in it's already $80, and then you're hiding like in-game stuff, and so it feels like, wait, why is it's already so expensive? Do you really need it? But I was gonna say, I think another way to look at it too is just that. Well, now I lost my train of thought. Forget it. I lost it.
Gone.
I had a good point.
It's
We'll
gone.
take your word for it.
I bet you did.
It'll come
Fran.
to me
I
in like
bet you
30
did.
seconds, but it's gone.
I don't know. I'm still gonna pick
Oh,
this up when it comes out.
I got it. I was trying to say that whatever. It's taken a long time, and it's like $10 more than $70 games, which are very common. But if we were to suggest, if you're going to have an Ultimate Edition, I care less maybe that it's $100 is the
Mhm.
point I was trying to get to. It's just the inclusion of the in-game stuff. And in other words, could they have just stuck to a little like TV was saying is like cosmetics are very common. There's a bunch of stuff that's common. Did we really need to entice people with this confusion of in-game mission and in-game stuff? Like, just keep it clean if you're gonna
Yeah.
do it, which they were
Good
gonna.
point.
Is like all of these 6 skins for your guns, your cars, other cool stuff. I don't think people would have a problem with that, but we have to continue to confuse people by mixing in this other stuff.
Because in this day and age, when you say something's gonna be an in-game store, I assume I'm gonna be paying outside world money for it. And I'm like, so you're gonna charge me more?
No,
So
yeah.
I have the option. Yeah, no, better not be that.
You got to
If
pay
it
the
is
$20
that,
just to get access to the club, basically. But
I think you're right. Though,
But
Fran.
anyway.
I think they should have just kept it like, oh yeah, you start the game with these extra items.
Let me ask you this, talking about the pricing. What do you think has more content to play? Destiny's Edge of Fate Renegades combo or GTA 6? Do you think GTA 6 will be more content?
I mean, are you joking?
Edge of Fate and Renegades Ultimate Edition was $100 and included the No Land Beyond.
Oh, with all of isn't that a year of season? Wasn't that a full? That's wait. Oh, the combination of the 2 expansions.
Edge of
You're
Fate
just equating.
Renegades.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I never
Ultimate
compare.
Edition, $100.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I always defend like game pricing in the sense of like, yeah, is it worth it to you? It is so subjective. Like, look at Star Fox. Like, just take that one TV the same way. Like, how many Star Foxes would fit into GTA 6 and content volume? Like, yeah, it's crazy difference. GTA is going to have so much, so I don't have a problem with the price. It's the confusion
answer is very simple. Miyazaki launches Dustbloods in November, so we can make fan edits of Miyazaki there with his arms crossed, facing up against GTA, saying he doesn't give a damn.
Yeah,
that's what we need. That's what the people want.
Yeah, we know what Watts is wanting to play this November. So
well, then people be like, "You playing GTA? I'm playing Dustbloods."
Yeah.
Let's be serious. Yeah. You can also release Ocarina of Time in November, because it's
that's the rumor, maybe.
that would work.
That if one company
they probably don't even care. They probably would.
They probably would. It's also
Nintendo
like
doesn't
GTA
flinch.
isn't on the Switch too, so
everybody else flinches. Nintendo never flinches.
I'm still holding out for God of War Lao Fei showing up early. I don't think so, but
well, I'm gonna be full sending on Control later this year.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So much to look forward to.
Well,
There's too many games. Too many games.
I'll be half sending because I'll be playing 2 games.
Half send. Is that a thing? Did you just coin a new thing?
Double send? Double full send?
Because I'm playing Onimusha and Control. They come out basically the same day.
That's a tough decision. I want to play both of those. What am I gonna choose?
I was hoping
Nope.
today at the Capcom Spotlight that they were moving up Onimusha's release date because there was a rumor that it was going to, but no,
Hmm.
the same.
You know what? The Onimusha anime was so bad. I think we're gonna pick Control. It was terrible.
Like as a protest.
Dude,
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like I'm living in an I told you so moment right now because when Control launched, what year? Somebody look it up. What year did Control launch? I played it on launch. I was hooked.
1985.
Thank you. That sounds right. I was negative 3 years
That's
old when I
3
played that
years.
game.
3.5, 4.
When I rolled credits on it, I loved it so much that I gifted a copy to my two best friends. I was like,
Nice.
you guys gotta try this game. So
Did
I
they
was just
play
so
it?
high on it. No,
Yeah.
they did not play it. Well,
It's like a certain Briar Pikmin situation.
they teased. So one of those two guys, my buddy Kale, he saw the teaser for the new Control game,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Oh, Ryan got me a copy of the first. So I should play that." 2019. Thank you, Chet. So last week he picked it up for the first time, and he comes over every Friday. We do what we call Friends Friday, where me, my wife, and my buddy all get our computers together because we work remote, and we sit
do you
around the
watch the
table
kids?
and we day drink and work all day. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
it's great.
sounds
Friends
great.
Friday is lit. Anyways, he's like, Ryan, I
love
gotta confess, I finally installed Control that you gifted me, and I'm hooked. I was like, I freaking told you. Told you that game was fire.
That's
Yeah, and
perfect
it's had so
timing
many
though that he got to
improvements.
it now.
Oh,
I've
yeah?
got
Yeah.
to find a YouTube video
I
and
did
like
that.
watch the end game, like the story, like watch the story again because I've forgotten
Yeah, story
half of the
recap.
stuff that
Story's
happened.
still
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, it was really good, but I don't want to miss any of the like middle stuff, like the scientist like videos
Yeah.
that they have in that. Like I gotta get a
the
good
like,
one.
what are they called? The Breach Children or the Breach Kids or something? What is it called? The creepy kid videos in Control? Those are great.
There's so many. There's so much good stuff in there. I don't want to miss any of it because I gotta. I don't want to. I don't think I have time to play through the whole game again though. What is it?
I
Like a
don't know,
30-hour
you
game?
Replay it.
That
I don't
sounds about
remember.
right.
I spent
30.
a lot of time in it, but I think you can do it faster in earnest if you want. But
Threshold
Yeah.
Kids. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Threshold Kids.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good September and probably a good like right through till like March of next year because I'm not gonna be able to play all these
Oh,
games.
man. Yeah,
We'll
it's
just be catching up on them.
crazy.
And then
Yeah.
Fable in February.
Yep.
Absolute insanity.
There's a lot. Yeah, maybe. I mean, November might even just be like I'm playing all the games that I couldn't play all the way through in September because there's like 9 in September, and
Wait,
then
when's the new Witcher DLC?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
What is
I
yeah,
think
that?
that's
right,
next
there's-
year.
Is it
Next
next year? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For
That
some
is
reason,
so
I thought that was
bizarre.
before the end of the year. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna play it though.
Of course.
I think that's great.
Um,
It's nice to see that has become more of a trend, right? Where people always spend all this time, on these big new games like Witcher 4, which is great, but then just you'll see, look how good just a nice new DLC does. I wish that we got that more often, but it's
Yeah.
always like waiting 6 years, and maybe that's where the industry might move as well. But it's like you're taking these $300 million bets on like 7-year development. It's like, well, we would also take a really nice DLC. It's
It'd
probably
be
cheaper.
nice to jump back into the Witcher 3 world because I haven't seen that game in a long time. That was the first game I ever saw running in 4K. It was not running anywhere near
Mm.
60 FPS at the time.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to
Yeah.
jump back in there and take a look. I love that game. I think it still might be one of my favorites of all time. It was fantastic.
Did you do like the Blood and Wine DLC and everything? The whole
Yeah.
kit and caboodle?
Yeah. That was astonishing. Should we wrap this one up?
Yeah, I mean, is
Yeah,
there anything else huge
I
that we missed? I don't
think
it's been
that's
yeah.
about it. It's the biggest news is Yeah, Xbox is shutting down studios that they showed brand new games of at the game show, and that's cool.
That sucks, man.
That's
Bungie
cool.
having
Yeah.
big layoffs. GTA charging a ton of money. Consoles are too expensive.
Everything's too expensive.
And that's the gaming industry,
But
folks.
Meccha Chameleon is $6.
That's
$6. I want to play that. I
So
think
is
we're gonna,
Burglin' Gnomes. Burglin' Gnomes full launched.
I feel like that's a double
last
entendre. I feel like you just came
last
on to me.
week. Last
What
week.
name? What's the name?
Burglin' Gnomes, dude.
Like gnomes,
amazing.
burgling stuff?
Yes. So the premise of the game, it's sort of like a roguelike. You've got Papa Gnome. You're on a floating island in the sky, and you and your buddies are gnomes. And Papa Gnome sends you down in a pink tornado, and you descend into the world of man. And you are tiny little gnomes that are about like my hand tall. And you
Yeah.
run into the house, and you're trying to loot this old man's house. But then
You trying to steal stuff?
But then he realizes that there's gnomes in the house, and he'll like flush
Oh,
you
he's
down
got
toilets.
a double-barreled shotty.
Sometimes he'll come out with a gun and try and cap you, but then you have to like fight mice and roaches and everything while you're trying to loot the man's place. Oh, it's great.
See, TV's
can-
got all
you
the
can-
recommendations. and
You can
it's $10.
steal his cigarettes and smoke his cigarettes as these tiny little. You have like two hands on it. You're like this. It's great.
Burglin' gnomes. I just love the
Burglin'
name,
Gnomes,
especially.
man.
But it
Yeah,
looks
that is
funny.
good.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for
All
joining
right.
us. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Bye bye.